Hello fellow crafters, this is Jane Fires, an affiliate with Fun Stamper's Journey and Spellbinders. And today I'm going to do a little box for you. I'm showing you to start with the box that I did in December, because I know this is January now. But the box I did in December for one of my classes was this one. We're going to do the same type of little box, but of course we're not going to do the bow or the Joy to the World. But I wanted to show you the dies and things and tell you what these are. The box we're using, which is this box, and the box we're using today is a Spellbinders die. It's called Boxed In. Now I, having been a teacher, I call it my Crayola box, and you'll see why in a minute. Then for this one, what I used was the Holiday Joy, Joy to the World, and I used its matching die, which is Special Day Tags die set, in order to cut my tag for this one. Then the other thing that I used is the mini bow of Fun Stamper's Journey, and I love it because it's small enough to use on almost anything, including a card, so that's what we used on this one. Now these things here, except for the die, we're not going to use today because of course Christmas is over. So we're going to use our die today, which is the Boxed In die, and we're going to do this one here. And as you can tell, it looks like a little crayon box, okay? But I filled it with little candies. So this one would be a cute one. Kids could help make this one and do it for a Valentine's exchange at school. The paper that I used is Follow Your Heart prints, and you can get, they're 6 by 6, so it takes 2 of the pieces in order to cut your little box and its little lid. Okay, so it takes 2 of these, and there are 4 of each color, and they are double-sided. So for example, that heart has that one on the back side. This one has the hearts on the front side. The back side here of flowers, kids could color these if they wanted to, or adults, either one. Then this one with the X's and O's has the flowers on the front side. The one I used has the alphabet, no, this is a different one, alphabet on the back with all hearts on the front. This one is striped on the back with flowers on the front. Now the one that I used, because I've done 2 boxes, so I've used up this particular paper, I've did the one with the envelopes, and then on the back side it has some little hearts and some little dots. So this is the pieces here that I used, and I saved my scraps because I can always use those later. The other thing that I used is the paper vellum from Fun Stamper's Journey, and our Fun Stamper's Journey Cranberry Bliss. So those are the papers and cardstocks that we're going to use today. Now I've already gone ahead and cut out my pieces of my little box. Once you've cut them out, you can see, and I always turn to the back side because I think it's easier to see. You can see your fold lines. And so what I do is I go ahead, and because it's paper, I just hand fold them. You could use a crease tool if you wanted to, but in this case, because it is a paper and not a cardstock, I just go ahead and I fold them with my fingers. And you'll do this to both pieces. So now when you put your box together, you're going to put it together this way. And of course, this is your front with your little cutout. And your little cutout is in your die. So what I do when I do something like this, I take a piece of our tear tape, our white liner tape, and I put it right along the fold line. And I'm going to do this with both pieces. Now the one thing when you're die cutting this particular one, if you have the front of your cardstock that goes a certain way, like my envelopes, I had to make sure that I did my envelopes so that they would be going in the right direction, because it would have looked funny to have done them this way. How you can tell is this is the bottom, because you have a bottom flap with no top flat, so this is obviously your bottom. So what I do is I go ahead and I put my white liner tape right to the fold line. And I do them one at a time here. I'm going to peel off my backing. Then I took our craft glue and I ran it along a small line towards the edge of the cardstock or paper, and then I dot the tape. The reason for doing that is because the tape will help to hold while the glue dries. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and line up, and it's easier to fold up the bottom, I think, so that you know right where you're at, and line it up on your fold and press it down. Now your tape will hold it while your glue is drying. Okay, so now we have that side done. Go to my other side, peel off my backing on my tape. And again, I'm dotting glue on my tape and then running my fine line of glue at the top, the edge. Again, I'm going to fold up my bottom. And run my finger along the edge. The tape again will hold it. So now I've got my little box formed. So what I'm going to do now is stick my two little corners at the top in my box. I'm taking my flap now and I'm folding it. It has two fold lines, of course. And this time I'm going to put some tape here on the decorative inside piece, which has some little hearts on it. And then running again some glue where my fold line is and on my tape. Then I'm going to line it up and that's where I want it, so now I can press it in. So now my little lid is on and I can push it inside. Now I can go to the bottom. Because this is my front, this is my tag, my top that'll go down last. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to run just one piece of tape, because this will not show, obviously. It's going to be on the inside, right there. And then I'm going to run another piece of tape right here, because of course this won't show either, because this is going to go over the top of my other one. And then peel off both of my backings. Press my back flap down. Press my front flap over and hold it for a minute. Okay, so there's our little box. And then in our little box, what I did is I just put in a few little candies. And you can put in here anything that you want. Now, we need to decorate the top of our box. And what I used for this is I used the punch system that we have. This is its handle here, and then this is the base to it. And our base on this one has 3 little hearts, so I simply took my cardstock, put it in, and punched it out. Now I've gotten 3 little hearts. Okay, so what I do is I put my little extra hearts in just a little bag, and then I have them for whatever I want to use them for. So that's how I did my hearts here. And then I used the stamp set, Perfect Atoms, because this one has a small little Happy Valentine's Day right here, and that will fit in the largest heart that I just punched out. So that one there we're going to stamp in here using our black licorice ink. Now you could use a pink if you wanted to in cardstock to do your hearts. Kids might like that better, particularly little girls, because it would be easier to see the Happy Valentine's Day stamped on it. Or even candy apple, which is a lighter cardstock also in color. Then the other thing that we used here, and I just had it, is this little die right here. It's called the Baby Envelope Die Set, and I punched it out of our vellum. And again, I just use my fingers to crease my vellum. Now you can actually shut your envelope up if you wanted to, but you wouldn't have to. You could leave it open and punch out more of the little hearts and put them coming outside of your envelope. Now in the sample, what I did is I cut a piece of this particular paper and I stuck it in my little envelope as if there were a little note in there. But you wouldn't have to do that. So for this one, what we're going to do is something a little different. We folded it all, but now remember that vellum will show whatever you glue it shut with. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it on the front of my card, and then I'm going to put my word, I think I'm going to glue it that way, and then put my words right here. That will hold my envelope shut. So let's go ahead and do that. And what I'm going to do is put a piece of our white liner tape right in the middle of my envelope. Because of the fact that I'm going to put hearts on it, this is not going to show, but it will hold it well onto my card, or onto my little box. So I'm going to put this down towards the bottom, going that direction. And you can, I don't know if you can see this or not, but it does show up just a little, but not a whole lot. Fold this in. Now I'm going to take my heart, and I'm going to put my tape on the back of my heart because I want to make sure this little heart is going to stay down flat. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape, and of course I like this because it is our tear tape, meaning that it rips. Take my backing off, and then, as most of you know, I like our craft glue, and so I'm going to dot some craft glue on here, because then I know that's going to stay shut forever. So I have my word stamped. Now what I'm going to do is put Happy Valentine's Day right there, and I'm going to hold it for a minute. Because I need to make sure that's going to hold tight. You know, it wants to pop up because I don't have enough glue right here. Now, as you can see, if I open it, my top of my envelope comes up here, but it doesn't interfere with shutting my little box. So what now I'm going to do is I'm going to put some little hearts on it. And because my punch had 3 hearts, this being the biggest one down here, I'm going to glue this one here. And then I'm going to take my littlest heart, and I'm going to take one of our medium foam squares, and I'm going to cut it and take a little piece and put it in the center of this heart, take its backing off, and pop dot it right there. Now, as you can tell here, I used one of our little heart-shaped sparkles, and these are called Happy Sparkle Drops. So I could use one of those, or if you wanted to, you could use one of the little pink hearts here or the little red hearts, and these happen to be called Love Filled. I'm going to go ahead and use the heart sparkle drop. And take one of these, and I'm going to put it in the middle heart. And these already have glue dots on the back of them, so they will stick. So there it is, my little Valentine box. These are very cute, and they would be really cute for kids to take to school for their little friends. You can put anything inside of them. Little crayons even would fit, but I just put in some candy. I put a couple of the little Ghirardelli squares, the mini ones, but you could put more than 2 in. In some of my boxes, I've put as many as 4 in. This one now has 3. But then you can use anything you want to put in. So there's that little box, my little crayon box. It's called Boxed In by Spellbinders. If you have any questions, you can know how to get a hold of me. My email address is my last name backwards, Serif, S-E-R-I-F-1 at AOL.com. I will have this posted on my website, which is www.janies-angelhugs.com. If you have any questions, just let me know. Have a great and blessed day.